Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Corner, and welcome to day 30 of my 31 Days of Halloween Horror Series 2024. So today we're going to take a look at kind of a different sort of, well, I can't even call it a movie because it's not, but it's something that I picked up at a horror convention about a year ago, a little over a year ago. It's on Blu-ray, and that is The Witching Season, which is actually a web series that aired in, well, it started in 2015, 2016. um it's basically made of five different episodes. I think a couple of them were 2015, a couple were 2016, and maybe 2017 or 18. I'm not exactly sure how the layout goes, but yeah, it's a web-based series that they put on Blu-ray basically. So five separate shorts with opening and ending credits on each one. So it doesn't flow like a movie, but I did want to give it a watch because it is very Halloween related. So let's just go ahead and get into the witching season here. Um, and my notes are going to be on the phone, on my phone this time. I didn't actually type up any notes, but um, just going to kind of go through here. So yeah, each of these episodes starts with like an opening, um, with credits, but it's like an opening montage of outdoor Halloween and um, like fall harvest kind of stuff that's going on in the background to kind of get you in the mood for the episode. Um, I wanted to see if let me find a synopsis here. Yeah, so the witching season featuring a collection of original tales of terror set during the Halloween season. So that's basically what it is. Um, and they have 2015 as season one. Um, and so then we'll look at the episode, guys. So I'll just kind of go through the episodes, read you the synopsis on each one, and then give you my thoughts about each episode. And then eventually I'll rank all five of them at the end, kind of like I do with horror anthology movies, what my favorite one was, and things like that. So the first episode's entitled Killer on the Loose. An escaped killer lurks inside an isolated home on Halloween night, terrifying a terrifying prospect for those who stumble upon them. So that was the first episode. And these episodes have different lengths of time too. I think that one was about 15 minutes. There's a couple that's like 15 minutes, 16 minutes, um, 9 minutes is one of them, and I think 11 minutes is one. And then the fifth one, or the well, it's actually the fourth one, is actually 31 minutes. So the time varies. But that first one, Killer on the Loose, I think was 15 minutes. Then the second one is called Princess. In search of a fresh start, Kendra and her daughter move into a new home, but something evil lurks in the basement. And I think that one was 11 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, maybe I can get the specific times here. Yeah, Killer on the Loose, the first episode's 15 minutes. Princess is 16 minutes. That's the second episode. Then the third episode is entitled Not Alone. Kyle wakes up from a horrific nightmare, struggling to bridge the gap between his dreams and reality, in the darkness of his room, but then notices an anonymous figure standing silent in the darkness. He is not alone. And that one is 9 minutes. That's the shortest one. And then the fourth episode, actually, and I should tell you too that the first two episodes aired in 2015. Yeah, October of 2015, and the episodes 3 and 4 aired in April of 20. Well, episode 3 aired in April of 2016. Episode 4, which I'm going to talk about now, aired on November 19th, 2016. This one is the 32-minute one, the longest of all of them, and it's entitled "They Live Inside Us." A writer spends the night in a notoriously haunted house in hope of finding inspiration for his latest project. He soon realizes that he is living his own horror story. Um, so that's 32 minutes, like I said, aired in 2016. And then The fifth and final episode actually aired in May of 2017, and that's entitled Is That You? Confined to her bedroom on Halloween night, Whitney notices an eerie figure lurking outside her home. This one's 11 minutes. So, like I said, 15 minutes, 16 minutes, 9 minutes, 11 minutes, 32 minutes. So there's quite a variety there. So yeah, those are the stories. And like I said, there's no connection to them in terms of like a movie would have. You go from one to another, any sort of wraparound or anything. I shouldn't say there's no connection at all because all five of these stories, I believe, take place in the same area, the same sort of setting, the same town, and actually a couple of them. I think the second one specifically, or the third one, I can't remember. But a couple of them, there's like a radio talk show going on, and they're talking about crimes that happened from the previous story or the other story. So there is some connection there, but just not in terms of a narrative anthology kind of way, where there's a wraparound or intermeaning stories or anything like that. It's very separate in that regard. And as I said, that's because it's a web-based series. Now, all five of these shorts you'd be able to find on YouTube and watch them as if you've ever gone on YouTube and watched like short horror films or short horror stories. I've done that before in the past. That's kind of what these are, really. I just happened to get them all at a horror convention, all put on one Blu-ray disc. Do I regret doing that? No, I wouldn't say so. Because even though it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be, it does have over 2 hours of special features on here, director's commentary, making of featurettes, outtakes, trailers, and more. Um, and I also think it has its pros because if you're on your way out the door and you don't have a lot of time, but maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, you can put one of these on and still get through them. Or if you just have like an hour and, well, what would it be? Like an hour and 10 minutes or so, hour and 15 minutes, you can watch this whole thing. So in that regard, it's kind of nice, but I'll just kind of show you guys the back there. It talks about each of the stories and then the special features there. Um, the season never ends is the tagline, Halloween Tales of Terror. Um, so anyway, I just kind of wanted to give you guys an overview of what this is. Now, as far as my thoughts about it, starting with the pros, I really like the introduction to each of the web-based episodes where it has that Halloween ambience. Um, it has the very Halloween vibes going on. It shows like spooky scarecrows and Halloween decor at a house and things like that. Trick or treaters. They do a very good job of setting you up for this time of the year, letting you know this is Halloween related. So I really enjoyed the openings, and like I said, you get an opening to all five episodes. There's no you can't there unfortunately there's no feature. I kind of wish there was where you could just say play all and it played the first episode and then went right into the second to the third, even though there's no wraparound, but just without the opening and ending credits, you can't do that. You kind of have to watch the opening and ending credits with all five episodes. But it is what it is. So that's one thing I liked about it. I think it does a pretty good job of giving off those Halloween vibes in all the episodes. I mean, um, I think there was one that wasn't specifically Halloween. I didn't feel like. I mean, like I said, they're not all five. They don't all five necessarily have like Halloween decorations in your face or in the background or anything. But Killer on the Loose takes place on Halloween night. Uh, Is That You takes place on Halloween night. Um, I guess the other three really necessarily don't in terms of it saying it, like Princess Not Alone and They Live Inside Us. But there's still a lot of Halloween sort of time of the year. There's still a lot of Halloween vibes going on there, even though you don't have the decor or necessarily the atmosphere. But I think they all do a good job in that regard, putting them together in this one pack, this Blu-ray, calling it the Witching Season and having it be Tales of Halloween Horror, Halloween Tales of Terror, which it really is. So I like that. I have to say, all the stories are fine. Like I said, when you have variable links, obviously you're not going to have all the fleshing out of the story or the characters, but for as short as some of them were, I thought I still got something out of them. There were some creepy moments in some of them. Um, the acting wasn't horrible, especially for being a web-based series. I thought it was pretty solid. Um, they all had sort of suspense and creepy moments in them. So I can't say that I hated any of the episodes. So that's very much a positive. The cinematography is really good. They look good from a from a cinematography shooting standpoint. I'm not sure if all web-based series look that good or not, um, but I like the stories for the most part, all of them. So yeah, I rather enjoyed this. As far as cons go, the only thing I would say is because you have such a different contrast of times of these stories that range from 9 minutes all the way up to 32 minutes, it is pretty uneven. Like I said, you could actually just watch this, but you could just put this on and watch like one short at a time. Um, which is both a pro and a negative, as I said. The pro is if you don't have a lot of time and you want to just put something on to get you in the Halloween mood, you could do that in 9 minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes. You don't have to watch the whole thing. The negative part of it is if you want to sit down and watch the whole thing, it doesn't really flow together that well. Like I said, other than those little bit of connections on the radio and stuff talking about some of the other things that happen in the same area or same town that it takes place in. So take that for what you will. But I think just the inconsistency of the time, and I would have liked to have seen like all of these be like 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. Because a couple of them, as to be the case, a couple of the shorter ones I felt like could have been longer. Although I'll say that the 32-minute one, I don't think they necessarily had filler. I thought it was fine. And and then transitioning right to that, that's clearly my favorite story. They Live Inside Us, where the writer spends the night in a notoriously haunted house in hope of finding inspiration for his latest project, and soon realizing that he's living in his own horror story. It's just such an interesting and unique concept for a short horror story. And actually, I believe this one they talked about making this a full length of the five of them. They talked about making this one a full length feature, which I could totally see working. Um, but this one kind of had it all. This was the one that kind of had stories inside of stories too, if you want to say, because he's writing different stories throughout this episode, throughout this short story, about different killers and different things going on to a certain character. You get kind of a slasher story. You get more of a supernatural story. I thought that was very interesting. The episode also has a lot of like creepiness to it, suspense to it, and then a great twist at the end, which I certainly didn't see coming. But it works really well. It's a very flawless or seamless, I should say, not flawless, but very seamless twist to the end of this story. So They Lived Inside Us, the one that's 32 minutes, is my favorite. Then after that, I would probably go with Killer on the Loose, the very first story, which was 15 minutes. You have the escaped killer who lurks in the shadows of an isolated home on Halloween night. Again, good suspense in that one, and that also has a twist at the end, which it's a twist that I've seen done, excuse me, in a more recent horror anthology movie that I reviewed, which just look back a couple days in one of my previous reviews, but I'm not going to give it away here. But frankly, Killer on the Loose I thought was very well done for being a short story, a 15-minute story, where it starts outside and we're following this character that's seemingly running away from this killer on the loose, and yeah, it kind of plays out from there. Like I said, it has a great twist. So that'd be my second favorite. Then I would say not. I would say Not Alone would probably be third because it's very creepy. The one where the guy wakes up from a horrific nightmare and then struggles to bridge the gap, whether he's alone or not, seeing something dark in the some shadows in the darkness. That's always kind of creepy to me, especially for shorts. I thought that one was pretty good. I think that was the shortest one of 9 minutes. Is That You? Confined to her bedroom on Halloween night. That one has a lot of good Halloween atmosphere and a lot of creepiness as well going on there. Seeing a shadowy figure standing across the street, and then a knock on the door and things of that nature, how it all plays out. And then I would say Princess would be my fifth favorite. Not that there's anything wrong with it. That's the one where the mother and daughter move into a quiet home in the suburbs, but there's something evil lurking in the basement. It's just a short that takes from like evil dolls and things like that. It's fine. These are all fine, and I enjoy all of them. But that'd be my ranking of the five of them. So Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can say about it. I think this is a pretty decent Halloween watch. And again, you can find it on YouTube. You can find the individual stories, and I think you can even find the Witching Season, all five of them put together on YouTube. But you're not going to get the special features, I don't think, that you get on this Blu-ray. And like I said, I picked this up at a horror convention last year, and I'm glad to have it. Frankly, even though it's available on YouTube and other streaming services, I like the physical media, and this is something I could see watching on or before Halloween each year because, again, it's only an hour and 10 minutes in total and five different stories. So if I don't have a full hour and a half or 2 hours, it's something I could definitely see putting on. So for what it is, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 for the Witching Season. Again, you have to judge it a little differently because it's not a movie. It's not a horror anthology movie. And in some ways, it's not even a horror anthology series. It's a horror anthology web series having to do specifically with Halloween with very different shorts, timing of shorts. So take that for what you will. 8 out of 10 for the Witching Season from 2015 through 2017 as of now. Um, Go ahead and comment down below if you guys have seen any of these shorts from the Witching Season, if you've seen the full Witching Season, what you think of it. Please like this video, hit the little notification bell, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming reviews for this series, which is only one more because we only have one more day in October. I think we all know what day that is. But you also don't want to miss my great horror content coming out next month and the rest of the year and into next year. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. So, with all that being said, I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for watching. Hope you're having a good month of Spooktacular and stay scared. Bye.